Well, it would seem that their patience has been rewarded. We wonder whether their signing spree has been completed. So we thought we'd have a chat with the General Manager of Football at the North Queensland Cowboys, Peter Parr, joins us on the line. G'day, Pete.
Yeah, good morning.
Congratulations on the signing of Valentine Holmes. I guess there were periods during the course of the last 12 months, Pete, that you thought you weren't going to get your man, so it must be enormous relief to have his signature on the dotted line.
Yeah, we're delighted. He's from Townsville originally, so that's a real bonus for us. And look, we always felt that his form, over, a few years, but particularly in the second half of 2018, where we felt he was one of the better players in the competition. So we're always interested in getting him back if that's what he decided in the end. So we had to play the long game, but in the end it worked out, and hopefully it'll work out into the future. And we're really confident it will.
Yeah, well, he's a massive name, Parry. He's like a Jonathan Thurston when you brought him to the club, and he had that instant impact. What's the impact been like? And I know it's only been, 48 hours, but in terms of interest in memberships and sponsorships, is that increased since the announcement of Valentine's signature?
It certainly has. I don't know the exact numbers, but you can feel the buzz around the town, the region for that matter. The amount of people that have viewed his interviews on our website and on social media are up around record numbers. So I can't remember. You got to understand, when we signed Jonathan, he was only young and not as well known as probably Valentine. And I got to say that the announcement of his signing has probably created more interest than any of the others I've been involved with at this club.
Bit of extra pressure, Peter. You've probably got the premier football team now in Queensland. Considering the roster you've got, you've probably got the best, arguably one of the best forward packs going around. You've got an exciting back line. You've got an area of Queensland that's quite parochial, and they love their football. You've got the new stadium. Does that create a bit of pressure off the field for you and for Paul, etc.?
Oh, well, not really. I don't feel that. I can't speak for Paul. I don't think he feels it either. Look, we've tried to build this club, probably over the last 10 or 12 years into something that, we want all North Queenslanders to be proud of. And I've said repeatedly over the last couple of months that I think, apart from when the Cowboys first started in 1995, that this is probably the most exciting phase of the club. We've got funding approval now for a new community and Cowboys headquarters next door to the stadium, where we'll build a training field as well. So in 12 months' time, we'll be holeless bowless at the stadium. The stadium looks magnificent. It's right in the CBD, 800 metres from our leagues club. There's enormous interest in the club at the moment, and we think we've got a pretty handy football team. So, if you add all that up, we think what's on the horizon is very exciting for the region.
Is Latrell Mitchell on the horizon? Is an official offer been made to him?
No, we haven't made Latrell an offer, and we've taken the tack that you never say never, do you? He's one of the better players in the competition, up in the top echelon of players. Showed some interest in our club, so we thought we wouldn't be bad not to talk to him. But whether we can put something together that would be competitive compared to other clubs, that would be debatable.
Parry, when the football department did the season review of the Cowboys' performance last year, what was the areas that needed strengthening, and what does the team have to do to play finals football next season?
Yeah, look, that was a good question. And, geez, I wish I knew all the answers. One area that we did have a look at was our training and our injuries. We suffered a number of injuries over the last couple of years, which hasn't helped our cause. So not only have we looked at the roster, we've looked closely at our training, our preparation for games, our injury management, the travel, the whole stack of things, outside of actually just playing. Yep. Look, it's hard to win without your best players. So the best way to win is trying to get your best players on the field regularly, and we haven't been able to do that the last couple of years. So I think it's fair to say that we've looked at areas other than just skills and defensive efforts and things like that. But one area that we do need to improve on, I think, as a club, is our resilience. I think that last year we were in a number of games, and when we were in the arm wrestle, I don't think we handled that particularly well. And I think that's one area that the coaching staff will be working on over the off-season.
We've had news this morning, Peter, that there's potential changes to the squad, that Jake Granville potentially won't be at the Cowboys next year. Is there any truth in that?
Well, I can't answer that 100% with surety. I was asked yesterday, were we shopping Jake Granville around? And the simple answer to that is no. We haven't rang any other clubs, whether they be here or overseas, in regards to Jake Granville. But we have signed Reece Robson to a longer-term deal, and we've got a lot of time for Reece Robson. And I think that other clubs may be looking, if they need strengthening in that position, then Jake may be somebody they look at, given our signing of Robson. So I can't deny that other clubs may have contacted Jake's agent, but I can say categorically that we haven't picked up the phone and tried to sell Jake.
And based on that, if Jake was to leave, would that then allow enough cap space to make an official offer to Latrell Mitchell?
The simple answer to that is no.
Would it then require the movement of another player or another player?
Yeah, and that's where it all gets complex. And when you're talking about someone like Latrell, you're talking about multiple years in the deal, and whether you need to shift players, and then you've got to work out how that affects you culturally, and then have you still got enough money? And so there's a lot of conversations to be had. And as I said, whether we end up coming up with something for Latrell, I think that's, as I said, debatable. And it wouldn't be a decision that we could reach, in the short term. And, it will be difficult. But as I said at the beginning, you never say never.
When you, and I presume that you met with Latrell, or members from your club met with Latrell, did he give an indication to the Cowboys on what he was requiring in his next role at whichever footy club he was heading to?
Oh, not really. You talked to Paul Green about football. We talked about lots of things. Lifestyle, family, football, obviously. All those, types of things when you get together. We didn't talk specifically too much. We certainly didn't talk about money. So it was a wide range conversation. Greeny and the other people involved in the meeting hadn't met Latrell before, so it was more about, just having a general conversation, really.
Parry, I wanted to ask you about Matty Scott. We haven't heard much of Matt since he suffered that stroke. How's he going, and is he okay? Is he going to be part of the setup going forward? We know he's retired, but that was terrible news when it filtered through.
Yeah, shocking, was. I saw him last week. He is recovering well. He's going to be okay. So that's the first thing I should say.
Yep.
He's going to be okay long term. I think the frustrating thing for him is that it's a long process, and he still gets fatigued very easily. He still has some times there when he gets nauseous and things like that. Unfortunately, the only thing that's going to heal is time. And as you would know, mate, when you're used to bouncing back quickly from injuries or illness, because you're such a good athlete, to be told that, it could be a 12 to 24 month process. I think that's hard to take. He's used to, he's one of the toughest blokes I've met. So he's used to dealing with pain. He's used to being high energy. And so that's the struggle for him at the moment, is to make sure that he's looking after himself and taking things easy. And he'll certainly be part of our club going forward. We love him a lot, and he'll have a role to play. But as it stands at the moment, it's still small steps.
Yeah, it was terrible news when we heard about that. Can you pass on our regards, mate, when you next see him?
Yeah,
he's a champion fella and one of Cowboys' greatest ever players.
Yeah, no doubt.
No doubt, mate. No doubt.
Pete, we thank you for your time. Best of luck for season 2020.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, Parr.
Peter Parr there, General Manager of the North Queensland Cowboys. And, Davey, they are now a $15 chance after being – they were 17s. They rolled into 15s after the signing of Valentine.
Yeah, I wonder, what's a pass mark for them now? A pass mark is minimum top 8.
Got to make the top 8.
Got to make the 8.
Yep.
and with the other players that possibly are on the horizon, maybe even pressing for a top 4, which I note they have firmed in 20 cents, so they're around that 4.20 price.
Michael Floyd up next.